What is up, Waffle Gang? I too hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're looking at some Today I Messed Up, because we haven't covered it in a while, and I thought, well, the hell not, right? So let's just get straight involved in today's stories. So our first story comes from a deleted user called Today I Messed Up by Being a 47-year-old Man Trying to Snowboard for the First Time. I think we know where this is going, but let's see. So I'm a 47-year-old single male that does a lot of activities on his own. I go to the movies, go camping, hiking, make music, go out to eat, even go to amusement parks alone. I'm fine with this. I'm not going to let the lack of a companion friend keep me from trying new things. Fair play to you. So I just finished registered nurse school and started my new job as a site registered nurse. I've been working long hours and have not had much time to myself. This weekend came out and I figured I deserved some R&R, so I booked a motel and a lift ticket, rentals, lessons for a mountain resort about 3 hours north. Not that I thought that snowboarding would be easy, but I had skateboarded as a kid, even though that was 35 years ago. Maybe some skills would transfer over. Nope. I get to the resort, booked my rentals, and waited for my 11 a.m. lesson. The guy instructing me was some 24-year-old kid with long curly hair. He ended up being really nice, and not at all some rad extreme shred dude. Things did not go well. We were on the bunny slope and just fucking ate it. Within the first 5 minutes, I've fallen 3 times and either pulled a muscle in my torso or broke a rib. I got through the first hour, unbuckled my boots, and told the guy that I was done. I told him that it was inevitable, that I was going to hurt myself bad, and I couldn't let that happen because my job can be fairly physical sometimes. Now I'm holding a nice cottage drinking screwdrivers and watching the Joe Frank documentary. My left hand hurts, my right wrist has an abrasion, my ass hurts, and my right upper quadrant produces a sharp pain when I move too much or cough. Total cost, $293 for the hotel, $419 for the lift ticket, rental and lessons, $50 for gas, $50 for food, coffee, cigarettes, $45 snowboard pants, $13 snow jacket and thrifted equals $870. $870 for a sore ass. Gotta be worth it, right? I have a similar story. I mean, I tried snowboarding once myself. We had got not like a proper snow hill. At least I don't think it was. It's like fake snow, whatever it is. And I had to travel 3 hours to go and have these lessons. And it was like meant to be like an all-in-one full day learning experience. And by the end, you get like a permission to go down the hill by yourself. And my God, I thought it's got to be easy, right? Because I could skateboard as well. I thought, yeah, it's going to be easy. I got the balance, but it's not. You have to lean backwards and forwards. And my God, my ass by the end of that day was absolutely in bits. I got halfway through the day and we had to go and have lunch, and we was all sitting there talking about how lessons were going. And at this point, I was nearly in tears, the amount of pain I was feeling on my lower back. But I thought, I can't bail out here. I just can't do it. So I put it for the rest of the day, and I've never gone snowboarding since. Although they did let me go down the hill by myself, and I was petrified all the way down. But I feel I have to do it at least once. My word. Anyway, Liberal Thinker replies to this end. When I was 40, I went in to see the orthopedist with a bad shoulder injury. He told me, congratulations, you are now certifiably middle-aged. If you were 18, you probably wouldn't have gotten hurt. If you were 60, you'll be smart enough not to try it. But you haven't yet figured out that you're not 18 and not wise enough to moderate your physical stresses. So folks like you keep me in business. Right then, I was pissed at the lack of empathy, since it was really hurting. Later, I found it a hilarious way to tell me to grow up and take better care of the only body I was going to get. And Sonia72 Quebec says, I did the same thing at about 40. I saw a couple of 15-year-olds talking on the phone while doing it, so I thought it must be not that hard to learn. Big fucking mistake. Of course, I was the oldest in the class. The instructor, who was maybe 18, kept calling me mom, which made me feel like a dinosaur. I couldn't even stand on the fucking thing long enough to do anything. Found multiple times on my ass, so I completely abandoned after lesson. I don't know what got the most bruises, my ego or my butt. And Sufficient Fishing says, if this is a real today one, you didn't necessarily fuck up yet. Try skiing tomorrow, way easier, and then you don't eat the cost of a lift ticket for one day. If you bought lessons, take them as ski lessons. You just need to pay for the ski rental, though. Absolutely, skiing is much easier, but, you know, it's always tempting to get to snowboarding. It slicks a bit colder to me. To me, anyway, don't get on my back about that. And let's move on to the next story. And our next story comes from Squidney. Today I messed up by calling my cat a fucking rat bastard in front of my online middle school students. So I'm a middle school teacher and my district is fully online, going back to in-person soon though. I was teaching my class like normal when out the corner of my eye, I saw my cat jump off onto the plant table, attack the leaves of my money tree and knock it over, spilling soil and broken branches all over the floor. Now this money tree is my most beloved plant. I've had it for 4 years and we've been through a lot together. So when he knocked it over, breaking off 3 of the largest branches in the process, I was pissed. I told my students I'd be right back and thought I muted myself. So I went to assess the damage and yelled, "No," several times. Then I tried to grab him so I could shut him in another room while I cleaned up my plant, but he kept running away from me. At this point, I said and yelled, "Come here, ya fuck your rat bastard," a nickname sometimes said endearingly, although not at this particular moment. After successfully shut them in another room and quickly trying to salvage the remains of my beloved money tree, I went back to my computer to see the following messages from my students in my Zoom chat. "You are not muted. That was wild. Oh my god, missus, we can hear you," etc. Let's just say I had some apologizing and explaining to do after that fuck up. Let's hope I still have a job tomorrow. Added, the cat tax, of course. The cat actually looks like in this situation is like just as the OP's chasing him down. Look at the eyes, is like, what? But edit 2, I went back to teaching and came back to my phone, seeing that this is blown up. All the comments have me cracking up. I love this community of cat lovers and haters. Stay safe out there, everyone. Much love. To be fair, the kids are just gonna love that, really. For what I've been saying, that was wild. But Herman Style says, "You obviously jumped in popularity with your class." And Cass says, "Those kids will remember that moment forever. Every now and then they call each other a fucking rat bastard, laugh, then look back at the moment with fondness. If this happened with a teacher of my kids, I'd be like, yeah, cats sure are, and that would be the end of it." Edit, I have 2 older kids and I can totally see them pulling this often if it happened to them. And throwaway cat says, "Lol, yesterday I was in an online course, university, and the teacher also called his cat a motherfucker." I nearly spit my coffee onto my lap. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Cats, you know, that they're a law to themselves, really, aren't they? And our next story comes from Dickface Cat. "Today I messed up by really observing daylight savings time. I'm an idiot." What a way to start. Background, I'm living at my mum's for COVID. We live in an isolated area way north of where I used to live. This story doesn't have any real consequences, but I am reading at my own stupidity, so I thought I'd let you guys laugh at me too. On Saturday, we talked about daylight savings time. I said, "Is it the good one or the bad one?" My mom said it's the bad one where you have to wake up earlier. I was like, okay, no biggie. I'll set my alarm an hour early. Normally I wake up at 6:30, so I set the alarm manually for 5:30. Separately, I also set my watch ahead an hour. Just absent-minded little preparations throughout the day, keeping in mind that everything is an hour behind, the hour ahead of it, or something like that. I don't know. I went to art school. I'm still not totally sure how it happened, but yesterday morning, my alarm went off at 4:30 a.m. New time, 3:30 a.m. old time, right? I stumbled in the dark to the kitchen, congratulating myself on being the only person in the house able to navigate the immense churning sea that is times. So now I'm 2 hours ahead of the day, but the clock in the bedroom is 1 hour ahead of my old time, 3 hours ahead of me. But when I glance at it throughout the day, I'm literally too fucking stupid and tired to notice the discrepancy. So I was running around trying to keep track of everything while operating, and at least 3 times I only had about 4 hours of sleep. I was so tired I didn't notice that my watch, bedside clock, and phone all said different times. I was like, wow, I don't remember daylight savings being so difficult. It must be because we were so far north. This morning my alarm went off at 4:30 again. And as I stood in the dark kitchen trying to muster a single coherent thought, it dawned on me that I really fucked up daylight savings time. Wish me luck today, as I try to master the concept of time and align all my timekeeping devices. Oh man, thank you for sharing that, and there isn't really much more to add apart from just let your phone handle the time, my friend. just take that out of your head and try not to deal with it anymore. Just let your phone deal with it. Wow. Let's move on to the next one. And our next story comes from House of Pain 426. Today I messed up by not ending my dating profile subscriptions. This just happened this evening and was incredibly embarrassing. My 28 male wife, 20-some female, and I met 2.5 years ago on a dating app. We hit it off immediately and decided a year after our first meeting to get married. Very recently we celebrated our 1-year anniversary and it has been truly amazing and lovely. 1 month ago, I bought her a popular brand tablet that synced up our accounts for app purchases and would email both parties when a purchase has been made. Kinda weird, I know, but important to the story. Fast forward to now, this evening, while on my way to meet up with some friends for beer, I get a call from my wife. She says that she got an email from the dating app confirming a renewed subscription and a charge for $9. My heart sunk. I knew that I had not been using a dating app at all since we met, and we even deleted accounts together. Cute, I know. I looked into it, and the email I used to make the accounts for the dating websites And sure enough, there were all the charges, all of them, all the way back to the month before we met. And they were not monthly charges, they were weekly, $9 every week for 30 months. TLDR, I spent $1,200 on a dating app that I used for 2 months, that even after the account was deleted and was still charging me. Edit, addition, since it was Ocelot, the platform was Bumble. Me, if something like that happened to me, I'm straight on the phone. I'd be asking them, is there anything that you can do about this? Because they'll be able to see that you haven't logged in for X amount of time when you will still be in charge for it. They might give you something, they may not give you all back, they may give you half back, but anything is better than a total loss, right? And even if you don't get it all back, what? You got your wife in the end. It ain't easy being cheesy, let me tell you. Now let's go to the comments to see what they say. And our arcade says, tell your wife she's worth every penny and all will be well. Absolutely. And Alpha Maggot said, did customer service refund anything? Surely they can see your activity or lack of. Edit for all the wet blankets out there. You lose 100% of chances you don't take, and it doesn't hurt to ask. The worst they can say is no. Personally, I've had a lot of success throughout my life with this attitude. Do I expect things to work out in my favor? No, that would be silly. Is it worth a shot? Absolutely. And this is too true. And Franz51 says, this is Chet, customer service rep for your dating app. Read the contract. As long as you two are in a relationship that started on our app, you must still pay the weekly fee. Stop trying to back out of your contractually obliged debt. Keep this up and we'll come and take your wife. We won our $9. And Alpha Rap Fight says, whoa ho ho, look at Mr. Moneybags over here, who doesn't notice $9 from his account missing every month. And Van Gogh says, $9 every week. And I think that's about enough from this one. But what do you guys think of this situation? Have you ever let a subscription run over? And our next three come from Anglophile Alex. Today I messed up by sticking my USB-C charger into a carrot. I'm a third-year marketing student currently writing my research dissertation. How did I even get to this point with my chicken brain? And I was cooking and just snacking on carrots. Curiosity got the best of me. So I was thinking, what happens if I stick one end of my charging cable into a carrot and the other end into my laptop? Disappointingly, no energy was drawn from the carrot. However, the end of the cable that was in the carrot got irreversibly damaged. There's a piece of carrot now stuck in my USB-C cable, and I even used a needle to try and get it out, but still, no juice. Now, if my laptop runs out of juice, that's it until the replacement cable arrives. It's due to be delivered on Wednesday. TLDR, don't stick electronics in food. Update, the carrot turned into a shriveled carrot. It fell out of the cable, but the juice delivery still isn't working. Gonna have to wait till Monday when I'm back on campus to loan a laptop. Thank God I was clever enough to have all my work in the cloud. And was sat straight away with a deleted user saying, don't worry too much about it, let the carrot dry a little so it shrinks, and use a long bristled brush to get it out. Also, good luck with your dissertations. Have faith in yourself. A great positive comment there, followed by Human Gengar James saying, I'll just swing it around really fast, see if that works. And Village Idiots Agent says, I'm not one to discourage a healthy curiosity, but what did you honestly expect to happen when you plugged your laptop into a carrot? And Ryder says, a revolutionary free and infinite energy source. That's how I was hoping this would pad out as an electrician. And This Be Stupid says, out of curiosity, do not stick a fork into an electric socket. The results will not be to your liking. Yeah, absolutely, do not do that. Please, just no one ever do that. But yes, I turn this one to you guys. What do you think was going to happen when he set the charger into a carrot? Loey-do, the comments below. And our next story come from Magnanimous. Today I messed up by attending my parents' divorce hearing and getting fired from my job. So this happened many years ago. I was working at Abercrombie & Fitch and I actually really liked my job. Retail sucks, but the people I worked there with were awesome. I was an exemplary employee and was good friends with the manager. To the Thursday night before my shift the next day. The old man comes down to my room to tell me he needs me and the other sibling in court the next day to testify in the divorce hearing. Me being the 17-year-old I am thinks nothing of my job and immediately understands the gravity of what was being asked of me. With custody of 5 minor children on the line, this kind of ask was a big deal. Additionally, none of us thought we'd be dragged into court for testimony. I woke up the next day, put on a tie, got in the car with my 5 other siblings, and went to the courthouse. We didn't end up having to testify, but not once in that entire time did I think about work. I was mainly focused on keeping my 9 and 10-year-old siblings collected in harm. That was my Friday. On Saturday, I got a call from my manager asking if I could come in to cover someone that day. I said no problem. So I drove to the store to clock in, and when I punched in my number, the screen said something along the lines of, employee not found in system. I called out to my manager, who put in his key and then quickly became as confused as I was. He makes a call to the assistant manager who was working there yesterday to see if she knew what was going on. Turns out the district head of Abercrombie was in the store on Friday. She was known to be a real ass, saw that I wasn't there and fired me on the spot. No phone call, no talking to my manager, nothing. This woman has never even met me nor investigated if this was a first offense. She straight up deleted my name out of the system. Consequently, I ended up being blackballed from being hired by any Abercrombie & Fitch in the country because of it. So I ended up working at another retailer for several years to help pay for my way through college. Is that even legal to do that? Are they allowed to do that? I don't think they are, really. But Philly Sleuther says, I feel your pain. I was fired from my Bath and Body Works job because I was dying in hospital. My mother called me out the weekend of Mother's Day. I said that I had a 105 fever and was unconscious. And Jeremy Crowher said, those fuckers, I will never shop there again. Of course, I'm 54 and fat, so I'm not exactly their target demographic. I'll least stay in business. And Magic says, my one and only visit to AADF was 11 years ago when we visited New York. Coming from Germany. It was loud and dark and strange. There were normal staff that would help you, and the good-looking ones that just stood there and smiled and started to panic when asked something. When we went outside, it started to rain. While we were standing in the entrance fighting the umbrella, one of the greeters came to us and asked us to move because he had to work. We moved. He opened up his shirt a bit more and struck a pose. Very surreal. And Sanso says, I got fired from a job for taking too much time off. This time off was one sick day after a weekend in a hospital bed, and I had, in my brutal state, made arrangements for a replacement. Fired and replaced by someone, a friend of theirs, already lined up to take the job, so they clearly had plans. Another gig fired me for being late once, so the boss could give her a brother of promotion into my position. Employers all talk about family when you start. You just don't know, they only mean their own family. And now I turn this one to you guys. Have you ever been fired from a job for some dubious reason? Let me know in the comments below. Now, once again, guys, I hope you did enjoy these stories of TIFU. It's been a while since we've actually covered them. I don't usually cover this subreddit very often, mainly because when you go in there, all it is like, because generally, whenever you go into the story, always the top one's always some sort of sexual hiccup, something happened during sex or something like that, and they just get boring as hell, man. So I tried to find different stories rather than just X. I just don't find them very interesting, to be quite honest. They're just so predictable every single time. But anyway, I hope you did enjoy these stories, and if you did and you want to support the channel further, you absolutely can, but never any pressure to do so, just by clicking that join button down below for YouTube. I'll click in the link in the description for Patreon and join in up there. Thank you very much for your time, love, and support, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Like Schla.